Hello and welcome to the Stamp Camp. I'm Glenda Calkins, your independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator. Today I am going to show you a one-sheet wonder technique using the New Horizon 6x6 Designer Series paper. You are going to love this paper pack. It is paired with the On the Horizon stamp set, which is sold in a bundle. Now, if you purchase the bundle, you will save 10%. The bundle is the stamp set and the coordinating dies. Now the dies are out of stock, so you cannot order the bundle right now. You can order the stamp set, but you cannot order the bundle. It went out this morning when I checked. It was available on low inventory all week, and I've been posting that on my blog, but it is out right now. That doesn't mean it will not be back in stock, so keep checking. It's supposed to be back into the Stampin' Up! Warehouse around March 7th. So keep checking that online on my store to find out when it will be back in stock. But until then, enjoy this one sheet wonder. Let's change the camera and get started. Okay, so this is the bundle. It is On the Horizon. It's got your stamp set. It is a red rubber stamp. And then it's got some coordinating and some additional, I love that fence, dies in the bundle. Now again, it is supposed to be back into the warehouse around March 9, depending on if shipping comes in or not. So keep checking my blog for that. The paper pack is available. There is a lot you can do with different stamp sets, but I today paired it with the stamp set that is in the bundle. So I'm going to just use the On the Horizon stamp set as well as the New Horizon paper. Now this paper is just gorgeous. It makes you start thinking scenery, and it is double-sided. Now I've taken many of these prints and made lots of cards, one sheet wonder cards. So I'm going to show you how to take one of the prints and make 4 cards out of one of the prints, but stay tuned because towards the end of the video, I'm going to show you all the one sheet wonders that I've been making with all the prints in this pack. Just gorgeous. So we're going to start out with this print right here. It is a fun print. You get 4 of each print in the pack. So there's a pack holds 48 prints, and they are all double-sided. So we're going to take this in my cutter trimmer here, and we're going to place it in our trimmer at 3 inches. I'm going to put them together, and we're going to put it back in and line it up at 3 inches. So we have 4 pieces that are 3 inches by 3 inches. All right. Now we are going to create 4 gorgeous cards with those 4 pieces. I'm going to start out with these. Now what I did for this is I flipped it to the other side. So you can use either side. So we're going to be starting with this piece right here. Super easy. It looks gorgeous as is, but we're going to take the black Memento ink. We're going to take them birds that are flying from the On the Horizon stamp set, and we're just going to stamp those birds up there just like that. Isn't that gorgeous? I love this set. We're going to mat this on a piece of Blackberry Bliss. Now I just pulled that color from the paper. And this little square here is 3 1/4 by 3 1/4. So we're going to put some adhesive on the back. And we're going to just attach that like so. Then I have a piece of basic white. We're going to attach our square to the top of this basic white. Kind of center it just like that. Then we're going to take the Blackberry Bliss ink and one of the sentiments from the On the Horizon stamp set. I think I'll do the Thinking of You. Ooh, I really inked it, so we'll see. Because I just inked it before the video. And I didn't really need to press really hard. Nice. So Thinking of You, we're going to take our card base is going to be the Blackberry Bliss. This is 4 1/4 by 11. We're just going to fold that in half. We're going to take this and attach it right to the front. Now, because it is a dark colored card base, I'm going to grab some white to go on the inside. And all I'm going to do for the inside is I'm going to take those birds, stamp them in the corner just like that, and we'll attach that to the inside of our card. How easy is that? And gorgeous. Now these cards are great for thinking of you. Let's see, the stamp set has thinking of you, thanks for everything, relax and enjoy your day. Let's see, breathe, and wishing you so much happiness. So it has sentiments in there, but you could also put a sympathy with that. I think that card is just gorgeous, and minimal stamping using that gorgeous designer series paper. So we're going to take that next piece. We'll stick with the Blackberry Bliss, and we're going to use a die from the Coordinating Horizon dies. So I'm going to take this one right here that looks like mountains, and it's kind of an outline. So when you die cut it, it looks like this. All I'm going to do is take some of that liquid glue. I just want a nice fine line. And I don't have to worry about, you know, doing the whole, every little spot of it. If you wanted to, you could put the adhesive sheet behind, but this works just as well. And I'm going to place that kind of across that straight line there. Just like that. So it looks like mountains. I'm going to take those birds again. I love these birds. And we're going to just stamp them up there. I'm going to take my scissors and just come back here and trim off this excess. Just like that. I have another square of that Blackberry Bliss. I'm going to attach that. Same as the other one, it's just 3 1/4 by 3 1/4. Grab that white again, and we're going to attach. Now if you wanted to, you could pop this up. I'm going to flip that. We're going to put that right up there just like that. Bring in that Blackberry ink again. I'll stick with my thinking of you. Straighten out my card. Just like that. Blackberry Bliss again for my card base. Now you can see the potential with this paper of how many cards you are going to get out of this one paper pack, and they are great for so many different occasions. They can be masculine, they can be feminine, they can be for teens. Just love them. All right, so that's card number 2. Card number 3, now we flip the paper over from the other side. We're going to go to this side here. We're going to start with this piece. We're going to bring in the dies again, and this time I'm going to use this one right here. It can be used for many different things, but I die cut it out of a piece of crumb cake, so it's like this. And I'm going to take my crumb cake ink and my little sponge here. I just want to add some color to make it more like beachy. sand, kind of add a little color to that. There, I like that. Now we're going to take that. We're going to use our Evening Evergreen ink. And we're going to grab the grass image, ink that up, and we're going to stamp that across the bottom like so. Then we're going to put our liquid glue on our little sand here. And we're going to come across just like that. Line that up. Take our scissors, cut off the excess, like so. We're going to mat this piece on a piece of black. Before I mat it though, I'm going to take that black and my birds and stamp them. Now we're going to attach that to our black, 3 1/4 by 3 1/4. And I have a piece of white. Now the layout for all these cards is the same. The difference is just the different pieces of Designer Series paper and how I embellish them with the stamps or the dies. I'm going to come in with our ink. This time we're going to go with Thanks for Everything. And we're going to stamp that at the bottom. Then we're going to use these gorgeous pebble enamel shapes. And these, sorry to say, are on the not back order, but they're out of stock right now, so you can't order them, but they will be back in-house, so just keep checking. I think these are scheduled to be back in, don't quote me, but I want to say March 14, maybe. It's either March 7th or March 14th. But I just love those. I can see why they went out of stock because they are so cute and fun, but they will be back. So keep checking my blog or my Stampin' Up! Store. You will find all the links under the video under Show More. Okay, here we go. So this is card number 3 from that 1 6x6 sheet. Isn't that pretty? Oh, love it. That paper is just gorgeous. Okay, so now we're going to take this piece. And using the dies, I have cut this little row of grass, and I cut a piece of the fence. Now, how I got my fence, I don't know if you can see that, but there's some ink on there, and it just gives it the lines like wood. There's this stamp in this one right here. I stamped that on crumb cake with crumb cake ink, and then I took the fence die, this little one here, and die cut it out so it shows those lines in there. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my fence and my glue here and just run little strips of the glue down my fence. And I'm going to just put that in the corner here. Then I'm going to take my grass there we go. And I'm going to put that down here along the bottom edge of my fence. I'm going to grab those birds again, and I'm going to use my evening evergreen. I should have did this before I put my fence. I forgot. So we'll see if I can get that in there. I wanted it back there, so we'll have to put it maybe a little bit higher. Or there's always a Post-it note, and we'll cover up my fence. And perfect. Okay, so we have our trees. Now we'll come in with those birds, and we're going to put those birds right there. And we're just going to take this and we'll mat this on a piece of that black. Just like that. We're going to come in place that on the white again. Come in with the black and the thanks for everything. I'm going to just quickly grab my white. Oh, that's got something on it. And I'm going to do the birds again. I could do trees. I like the birds. That's going to go on the inside. Attach this to the front. And then I'll show you all four. And then I'll show you what I did with the other prints in this pack. One Sheet Wonders. Love them. Let me get these ink stamps out of my way so I don't smear up my cards, because I've been known to do that. Okay, so these are the four that I just showed you using that one sheet. So those four came out of this piece right here. Gorgeous. Love the scenic views. They just, I don't know, they're very calming, I think. So those all four came out of that one sheet I just showed you. Now this sheet right here, there's lots you can do with either side, but I took this side here and I cut it right at 3 by 6, and I made these cards right here. Now, just because it is a long skinny card does not mean it has to be 8.5 by, let's see, what are the, normally a big, here's the big size. It doesn't have, a long skinny card does not have to be that full length like that, 8.5. I shortened mine up. So the paper is 3 by 6, and then the black mat is 3 1/4 by 6 1/4, and then my card base, which is the basic white thick, is 6 1/2 by 7, scored at 3 1/2. So a little bit different shape. It is a slim line, not as long as typical, but it will fit inside the gorgeous slimline envelopes that we sell that are in the mini catalog as well. So you have the perfect colors for these. You got the grays, the greens, the white. Perfect. They will fit inside there just like a regular longer slimline. These are just a little bit shorter. Plenty of room. Love that. So those two cards came out of this piece right here. Just cut it in half. 2 out of that one 6 by 6. Now this print here, gorgeous as it is, But I took it and I cut it in half this way. So my cards are horizontally done. And I showed you that one. So these are the two. Actually, it's just like this. You can see how it was cut right in half. On this one, I made it a full slimline card. So it's 8.5 by 7, scored at 3.5. And this one I cut down just like the other ones, and I made it 6 and, let's see, 3, 6, 6.25, 6.5 by 7, and then scored it at 3.5. So either way, love that. But the both of those cards came out of this print right here. Just cut it the opposite, you know, horizontally instead of vertically, and you get those gorgeous cards. Now this sentiment, or the die cut I used on here, that came from the Bouquet of Love dies, but I thought that went beautiful on there. All right, this print here, another gorgeous print. I cut it right down the center at 3 inches, and then I cut it 3 inches by 5.5, and you'll get these two cards out of that. See how that is flipped that way? That's that one. Basically, this is how that print is. Added the trees, the fence, those gorgeous pebbles again. This one I just did a little stamping with the greenery and the pebbles. Always the birds. Love the birds. So those are that print there. Then I have this print here. This was a fun one too. You can kind of see how your horizons are going to go just by looking at the prints. But here's these two cards from this print. Cut it right at 3 inches by 5. I did this one, and then put these. This one I did add that fence and the greenery. This one I just did the trees with the birds. Sentiment on, no sentiment. You can put it for whatever occasion you need, but those two came out of that piece. These were on my blog on Monday. I got both these cards out of this 6x6 sheet. I cut it at 3 3/3 by 5, and then this was my leftover strip here on the side. Just made a nice slimline card. So really easy, quick, easy. Stamp those trees, the birds, add a sentiment. This one just matte, trees, birds. Love this paper. It is just gorgeous. And then finally, this was on my blog yesterday, these two cards. And they came from this print right here. Notice how that looks like, you know, water or a lake. I love that. So that was those. Ooh, helps if I put them in view. So those were the two cards there out of this 6x6 print. Again, I just went 3 inches by, I think these are 3 by 5 and by 5, 3 by 5. And then you get those cards right there. So loving this bundle. I hope you are as well. If you need any of the supplies, please visit my blog, www.TheStampCamp.com. If you use that host code at the very top of the video there, I have some specials for you. If you place a minimum $25 order and use that host code, you're going to get a surprise from me in the mail. That is it for today. If you need any supplies, click under show more under the video, and you will see all the links to all the supplies that I used on my cards, all the cards that I showed you, not just the 4 I demonstrated today, but all the cards I showed you. I will have the list to all the supplies I used. That is it for today. If you are new to my YouTube channel, make sure that you subscribe. Give me a thumbs up. Click on that bell in the upper right-hand corner so you know when I go live. That is it for today. Thanks for stopping by.